Hi there, my name is Roman and I'm a Customer Success Manager at Toloka. We help companies and teams label their data efficiently using a crowdsourcing approach. What is crowdsourcing? Crowdsourcing is a new style of management. As we see it, crowdsourcing is a special way of organizing business processes. You don't need to manually select and hire experts to do routine tasks and then put them in a big open space office and ask them to click through monotonous work for 8 hours a day. Instead, you can divide complex tasks into small steps and give them to non-experts. With crowdsourcing, you immediately have thousands of performers at your fingertips. Each of them can complete a small piece of your task, even if they're sitting at their home in their pajamas. Where can you tap into the power of the crowd? Open crowdsourcing platforms are like marketplaces where requesters and performers come together. These platforms all have their differences, but the benefits of crowdsourcing are the same. Crowd performers are available every hour of every day. They live in different countries and speak different languages, and they have a vast collective experience to contribute to your project. A well-designed task can be scaled very quickly. You can also quickly stop annotation if it's no longer necessary, and performers will simply switch to other projects that they find in the marketplace. We have launched our own platform, Toloka. Toloka accommodates independent requesters, but also offers ready-to-use solutions for typical projects. In this part, we'll look at 6 steps for launching a crowd-based project. This is a general overview of the topics that we'll cover later in the tutorial. So, the crowd is powerful because it's diverse and it's always available. But these benefits can also cause complications. By default, we don't know anything about our crowd performers. We don't know anything about their experience, their background, or their intentions. Most of the crowd is here to earn money and they do care about the tasks, but we still might have some people who cheat. Crowdsourcing turns people management into an engineering problem. The quality of the final result depends on the quality of the process itself, not on the competence of a single individual. I mean, if we write really vague instructions, we can't expect the crowd to do our task right. We have to make the instructions as clear and concise as possible. So it really does matter how you designed a crowd project. Well, how do we do it? It involves 6 basic steps: decomposing the task, writing clear instructions and designing an interface, selecting and training performers, setting robust quality controls, deciding on a price, and finally aggregating results. Okay, let's start with decomposition. Decomposition means breaking up a task into several smaller ones that are easier to complete. Simple tasks always attract more people and they're cheaper just because they require less effort and no special knowledge from the performers. Next, you need to write clear instructions and make convenient task interfaces. If you did the decomposition step correctly, this step will be straightforward. Your instructions and interface shouldn't be too complicated. Make the instructions clear and include some examples. You can use a template from the interface. Remember, the point of both instructions and interfaces is to help performers do your tasks well. The third step is to select and train performers. This step really impacts the overall quality of the project. First, you will need to apply some basic entry filters. You might want to use a language filter if the performers are going to work with a specific language, or apply age filters if the project has content targeted at people in a certain age range. The performers who match the filters will also need to pass a training task or a test to prove that they understand the instructions and examples. This is absolutely critical because there are thousands of performers and they aren't all equally competent and diligent. And you want to make sure that the performers know exactly what is expected from them. Also, good training tasks are what make the project truly scalable. What I mean is that you can use the same training sets over and over again to get new performers whenever you need them. Good instructions and training help with onboarding new performers. Step 4 is establishing quality control. You need to keep people out of your tasks if they're dishonest, if they don't pay attention, or they just don't understand how to do the task. You want to detect them as soon as possible so they don't bring down the quality of your data. There are many techniques you can use for quality control. Here are some examples. Control tasks are tasks with a known answer that are randomly mixed in with regular tasks. They work like traps to catch bad performers. If a performer makes mistakes on too many control tasks, you can dismiss them from the project. Overlap means sending the same task to more than one person. Then you can compare answers. If a certain performer keeps providing answers that contradict the majority, you probably don't want to keep the person in your project. CAPTCHA is a well-known tool for preventing a bot invasion. Another interesting method is post-verification. This is useful when you can't use control tasks, like with copywriting tasks. The users get paid for completed tasks only after someone else has checked and approved them. You can also check for fast responses. There's always a reasonable amount of time needed for completing the tasks. If a performer submits tasks too fast, they're probably being dishonest or just using a bot. There are other ways to maintain quality, and we'll look at those in depth later in the tutorial. Step 5 is about pricing. Before launching a task, think about how much should the performer earn and how to motivate them to put in more effort. The basic price depends on how long it takes to do the task. You can pay more if the task demands a special skill, like speaking a rare language. It may sound counterintuitive, but setting the prices high by default does not guarantee good quality. Projects with high prices attract cheaters instead of motivating performers to do better. If your budget allows, spend extra on bonuses or special pricing to reward people who have outstanding quality. This will motivate other performers as well. Finally, after the responses have been collected, you need to aggregate results in a way that provides the best quality. As we mentioned, one of the classic ways to get good quality is to collect overlapping answers. If you collect several answers for the same question, how do you choose the best one? A popular way to aggregate results is to use the answer that appeared most often. This is called majority vote. There are other smart ways to aggregate results, and we'll discuss them in a separate video. Response aggregation is one of the most science-intensive topics in crowd science. It has been stimulating a lot of new research and insights. So that's it. The 6 steps that a crowd solution architect always keeps in mind when designing a new task. Let's go through them again. First, decompose the task. Second, write clear instructions and design convenient task interfaces. Third, select and train performers. Fourth, set up quality control. Fifth, come up with a pricing scheme. Start the project and use smart aggregation techniques to get even more value out of the data after the labels are collected. In the next 4 videos, we'll dive into each of these steps in detail.